Okay, let's unpack this. You know that feeling, right?
Yeah.
That little nudge you get.
Mm.
It's like an instinct, maybe, to do something. Could be small, like speak up in a meeting, or, big, reach out, start that project you've been thinking about.
Or even those massive life changes people seem to be making lately.
Exactly. But then almost instantly, something else kicks in. It's like hitting the brakes.
Yeah, the doubt, the fear, maybe just inertia, it all just floods in.
And boom, the moment's gone. That little window of potential just closes. Happens all the time.
It really is a universal thing, isn't it? That inner battle, the impulse to go for it versus the urge to just stay comfortable, stay safe.
Yeah, and we tend to think that, doing brave things requires this massive wave of confidence or like zero fear.
Right. As if courage is some kind of fixed trait. You either have it or you don't.
But the sources we're diving into today, they suggest something really different, completely different, actually. That everyday courage isn't about feeling brave. It's about feeling the fear, acknowledging it, and moving anyway.
Okay. Acting despite the fear.
Exactly. And apparently there's this simple, almost ridiculously simple technique that helps unlock that in big moments, small moments, all kinds of moments.
Okay, I think I know where you're going. We're diving into what these sources call the 5-second rule, right?
That's the one. And our mission here isn't just to say, hey, count to 5. It's to really get into why something so basic seems to work so well for so many people.
Yeah, looking at that connection it makes between, like, gut instinct and actual physical action. We've got some really powerful stories from the sources, too, showing how people are using it.
Real examples.
Yeah, real examples of interrupting those old patterns of, resistance, hesitation, and really changing things.
It sounds like it's fundamentally about grabbing those little chances life throws at you, those moments where your gut says go.
Before your own brain talks you out of it.
Right, before the excuses pile up.
Yeah.
It's about tapping into potential that, the sources say, is already there inside you.
So the rule itself, as laid out in the source material, it is deceptively simple.
Tell us.
The moment you feel that instinct, that impulse to act on a goal, could be anything. Getting out of bed when the alarm rings, raising your hand, making a tough call.
Okay.
You count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you physically move. You have to move.
Wait, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just move.
I said.
That's the core thing.
That's the core mechanism.
It just seems, I don't know, too simple to break through really deep-seated stuff like fear or procrastination.
And that's exactly why we need to dig into the why. Because the sources explain it's not just like a random countdown. It's not a gimmick.
Okay.
It's what they call a starting ritual. It's a physical trigger. And it's designed to interrupt a very specific process in your brain.
A brain process. Okay, tell me more.
Think about your brain. It's not your enemy, right?
Yeah.
But it is wired for survival and efficiency. So when you get an instinct to do something new or uncertain or maybe a bit scary,
Yeah.
your prefrontal cortex, that's the part that plans, analyzes risks, worries. It immediately starts generating reasons not to do it.
The overthinking part.
Exactly. Doubts, anxieties, excuses. That's the resistance kicking in hard.
So you get that gut feeling, that go, but then the analytical brain hits the emergency brake almost instantly.
Precisely. That initial impulse, maybe from the limbic system, your emotional core, it's super fast. But the conscious analytical part needs just a fraction of a second to catch up and say, whoa, hold on, remember last time, what if?
Okay, I see the conflict.
And the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown, followed by physical movement, that engages a different part of the brain entirely.
Which part?
The motor cortex, the action part. So counting down acts like a cognitive interrupt. You're shifting gears.
You're interrupting the worry cycle?
Yes. You're shifting from overthinking, which leads to paralysis, to actual physical action before that resistance fully cements itself and stops you cold.
Ah, okay, so it's like a pattern interrupt. You're bypassing the brain's brake pedal by forcing your body to just do something. You use that initial impulse before the fear totally takes over.
You got it. It's not magic. It's like flipping a cognitive circuit breaker.
A circuit breaker. I like that. That makes a lot more sense than just countdown and things change.
Exactly. And the sources, they are full of really compelling examples, just showing how this simple interrupt gets used across, well, the whole spectrum of life, from tiny daily things to huge life-changing decisions.
Okay, let's hear some. How does it work for just getting unstuck, overcoming that inertia?
Well, there's a story about Shirley in Honolulu. After her husband passed away, she was understandably stuck. For about 4 years, really just frozen in grief, locked in routine.
Oh, wow. 4 years, yeah.
And she knew she needed to start living again, but that resistance, that inertia was just immense. So she started incredibly small.
How small?
Using the 5-second rule just to physically get out of bed when her alarm went off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 up. That was it initially. And then using it to just start walking again.
Just getting moving.
Just getting moving. And that small act, repeated, using the rule to just push past the stay put feeling, it started opening doors for her. It shows the rule isn't just for, climbing mountains, but for winning those little battles against just staying stuck.
Right, the foundational stuff.
Exactly. And similarly, there's Kathleen. After a really stressful week, she felt that old pull towards a coping mechanism she knew wasn't helpful heading to the bar.
That familiar pattern?
Yeah, she described it as a real white-knuckle moment, but she used the countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and physically drove past the bar.
Just drove past.
A small physical act of redirecting herself. But she said it felt like a huge internal win, breaking that automatic habit.
Winning those internal battles. That feels key. But it's not just about stopping bad habits, right? The sources talk about using it to move towards things, too. Towards growth.
Oh, absolutely. Even when it feels really daunting. There's Dan in California. He's 44 and decides to go back to school for finance.
Okay, that takes guts at 44.
Right. And that feeling of being the 44-year-old freshman, as he put it, super intimidating. Prime territory for the brain to scream, don't do it.
Yeah, tons of reasons not to.
But he used the rule. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, register. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, show up for class. Honoring that initial instinct to learn something new, even though it felt awkward or scary.
He just kept overriding the hesitation.
And Pulkit in New Delhi, he talked about using the rule to take so many risks. Small ones, bigger ones in his personal life, his studies.
And what happened?
He said it led to amazing growth, finished his bachelor's degree. It's about using that moment to just try, put yourself out there, even if you don't know the outcome.
Taking the leap, basically.
Exactly. And Julie in Santa Monica, she used it specifically for something many of us dread, making those nervous phone calls.
Oh, yeah. Easy to put those off forever.
Totally. Your brain is excellent at finding reasons to delay those, but she used 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 dial. And the result, she not only built her own confidence, but she also raised a significant amount of money for pancreatic cancer research.
Wow. Just from making the call she was avoiding. You really see the ripple effect there.
You do, just taking that one small initiated step. But, where the sources get really, really profound is when they show the rule being used in moments of real crisis, deep vulnerability.
Okay, like what?
There's a story about Steve in London. It's incredibly powerful. He was suffering from PTSD, really struggling.
Yeah.
And he found himself on a ferry, actually contemplating suicide, standing near the railing.
Oh, man.
In that incredibly dark moment, he felt just a tiny flicker, a faint instinct, a nudge maybe to get help, just a sliver of it.
But his brain could have just crushed that instantly with despair.
Easily. Overridden it completely. But he knew about the 5-second rule, and he said it just kicked up.
He used it. And
yeah. He counted down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and he forced himself to physically move, turn away from the railing, walk towards a steward on the ferry.
Wow.
In what might have been his absolute lowest moment, he activated a life-saving instinct. In less than 5 seconds, using that countdown and that physical movement.
That's incredibly powerful. A stark reminder that those instincts, even when they feel faint, are so vital. And that a physical action can save you.
It really is. And Steve's story, in turn, had a huge impact on another person mentioned in the sources, James. James had tragically lost his own brother, Patrick, to suicide.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah. And James wrote something like, I wish my brother took 5. I can never change that. But I can change myself.
So he's using the rule now.
He is using it to take action in his own healing, finding the courage to, re-engage with life. And he's honoring his brother's memory by training for this grueling 100-mile race.
100 miles. Wow.
And he uses the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown during during the race, presumably, to push through the pain, the physical stuff, the emotional stuff.
These stories, they range from just getting out of bed or driving past a bar to making a scary phone call, to literally choosing to live or choosing to heal after immense loss.
Yeah.
They really hammer home that core message from the sources, don't they? You can't change what's happened. But in 5 seconds flat, by honoring that instinct with action, you absolutely can change your future.
It always comes back to that moment, doesn't it? That flash of intuition, that inner nudge telling you to move towards something better, something aligned with who you want to be.
And the rule is just the tool. the simple physical tool to make sure the fearful analytical brain doesn't shut it down.
Yeah, to make sure you win that internal tug of war, not the resistance.
And the sources really emphasize the scale of this. They say, look, one moment of courage, one 5-second decision can change your whole day.
And one changed day can start to change your life.
And a changed life. That can impact the world around you.
Mhm.
They really push this idea that there's incredible potential, even greatness, inside you.
Waiting to be let out.
Yeah. Often just waiting on the other side of that 5-second pause, that moment of resistance.
So wrapping things up from this deep dive, what have we really seen? This 5-second rule, it's more than just counting, isn't it?
Definitely. It's like you said, a pattern interrupt, grounded in how our brains actually work, using a physical action to sidestep that spiral of resistance and overthinking.
Which lets you act on your gut feelings, your instincts. It helps you unlock that everyday courage we talked about at the start.
And we heard how versatile it is. From tiny habits like Shirley getting out of bed, to overcoming bad patterns like Kathleen driving past the bar.
To seizing growth opportunities like Dan going back to school or Julie making those calls.
And even in those incredibly critical moments, like Steve choosing to seek help, or James choosing to heal and run.
The potential impact seems huge. Overcoming fear, building actual confidence through action, reaching goals. The stories really back that up.
They do. And the sources kind of leave us with this final, pretty challenging thought. That the biggest risk we face, it isn't failing when we try something new. It's not falling down.
Okay.
The biggest risk is staying put, living on autopilot, letting all those little nudges, those moments of instinct just drift by.
Swimming right past everything you could potentially become.
Exactly. Which leads to a pretty direct question for you listening right now.
Yeah.
Thinking about that potential, maybe just simmering beneath the surface. What 5-second decision, what 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 go moment are you feeling called to make right now? What action could push you, even just a little bit, towards truly living the life you feel deep down you're meant for?